Hello, I hope this finds you well. Welcome to Life Goggles Runs. My name is Ryan Reynolds. Yes, that name is real. No, I'm not that guy, as you've already learned by now if you are seeing me or hearing me. And so I'm sorry to disappoint, but also you're welcome, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. This is a new YouTube channel, and today's video is going to be about what this channel is. It's an introduction video. I'm going to explain the name of the channel, who I am, my running background, because this is going to be a running channel. And I also want to explain what types of videos that you can expect from this channel moving forward. So let's get started. Life Goggles Runs, why the name? Well, Life Goggles is a phrase that I've had in my back pocket for years. I don't know if I created it or not. I don't necessarily see it anywhere else. If it's out there and I didn't know it was out there, it's an honest mistake. But nonetheless, to me, I am a natural observer. I've been a natural observer since I was a child. And we all view the world through our own lens, and that to me are our life goggles. And so Life Goggles Runs, it's going to be my journey, my story. I'm chronicling everything through my worldview, but what I want to make known right off the bat here is obviously we all have our own viewpoints. We all view the world in different ways. We may not always agree on everything. We may not always be in lockstep on things, but what I want Life Goggles to be, Life Goggles Runs to be, is a place where if I can get a community built up around here, it's going to be a place where we support each other, where we inspire and motivate each other, where we learn and grow from each other. And that's a symbiotic relationship. I want that to be from me to you as much as it is from you to me, because running for me is such a supportive activity and the community is so supportive. And I want that to be fostered here. I really do. And the whole point here is that while we may have our differences in a myriad of ways, running brings us together. And that's ultimately what I want to shine through on a day-to-day basis through this channel. So as for myself, again, my name is Ryan. I am 38. I'm going to be 39 in less than 2 months, which is very weird to say because I feel 16 at heart. But I am a husband, a father, and a runner. My wife and I have been married for 15 years. We have a son and a daughter. I'm just so blessed that my family is what I always hoped it would be. By day, I've been in the tech industry working in software development for the better part of the last 11 and a half years. Beyond that, I'm someone that, in terms of social media, I'm very active on TikTok, Run Talk, as we call it. That community is part of what has pushed me as a runner over the last couple of years to do things that I never thought that I could do, never could have imagined doing. And there'll be more videos on that for sure. I'm hoping this ban that is out there about TikTok, I'm hoping that doesn't go through because that community is a special one. The internet can be a rough and tumble place. It can be a bad place at times. Run Talk is the exception, the notable exception to that. And if you're watching from the Run Talk community, I thank you every single day. I'm just so appreciative of so many people in that community for being who they are and as encouraging and as inspiring as they are. Now, my running story, I'll give an abbreviated version of it so we don't get too far into it, but I'm someone that didn't find running until my late 20s. I was 29. I was 2015. I'd been overweight for most of my life, and my sister was getting married that fall, and we were going to be in the wedding, my wife and I wanted to slim down for the wedding, and I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know about calorie deficits. I didn't know how to go about controlling my eating and portion control. I just couldn't do that. I didn't have the discipline at that time. So I took up running. Couch to 5K was very popular at the time in my area. And so that's what I tried. And it took a little bit, but I found that I fell in love with it because once I ran a mile without stopping, it just changed me. It fundamentally changed me. It really did. And that's not hyperbole. I believe that wholeheartedly. The problem was once the dangling carrot of the motivation of weight loss was gone, once the wedding was out of the picture, I stopped running for the better part of 2016 and 2017. And it was gone. It was in my past. I would occasionally run on a Saturday, but I just couldn't muster up the motivation and the consistency to do it. Fast forward to 2018, early 2018, I had a conversation with a buddy that changed my life. You're going to hear me say that phrase a lot, but it really did because my perspective has changed a lot post weight loss, post running. And my buddy taught me all about calorie deficits and managing food intake and all kinds of things about nutrition that I didn't know. Very basic things, but I just didn't know it. And I found success with my weight loss there. I lost close to 100 pounds. And I say close to because I never actually weighed myself at the start. I thought it was going to be another time where I got on the wagon and fell off, and I didn't weigh myself. So I don't know exactly what my starting weight was at the beginning of everything, but nonetheless, I lost a bunch of weight. But as part of that process in the summer of 2018, I knew I needed to pick up my physical activity. And so I did. I turned back to running, and I have not stopped running since. In the fall of 2018, I convinced myself I could run a half marathon. I had never even ran a 5K race before. So I signed up for a half marathon, which I ran in May of 2019 in Indianapolis. And it, again, fundamentally changed me, being able to do that, being able to say that I did that. At the time, it felt like a culmination in my weight loss. But fast forward to 2023, October of 2023, I ran my first full marathon in Indianapolis. Again, in Indianapolis. I'm a couple hours away from Indianapolis where I live. And that really was the culmination to me. It was a sign that I had completely changed my life from what it used to be. That's all part of my running story. But in between those two races, and even more than that, when everything was kind of shut down and races weren't really going on, I found that I fell in love with the process of running, the day-to-day process. I'm someone that doesn't run because I feel like I'm pressured to post things on social media or because my Strava doesn't. That's not it at all. It's because I love to do it and I feel incredible after I do it, almost without fail. There is rarely a time where I go out dreading a run and I don't come back feeling amazing. I shouldn't say never. I rarely come back from a run worse off than I started. And to me, that's a testament to why I do it. So anything that you see on here, anything that you hear from me, whatever I say, it is coming straight from the heart. It really is. I don't put things out here because I think people will like it, because I think people will click on it. That's not important to me. What's important to me is that I am who I am. This is the representation of myself. I try to break down as many filters. I am just an average guy that's an average runner. And I don't say that to disparage myself as a person or as a runner. What I mean is I'm not someone with blazing speed. I'm not elite. I didn't grow up running competitively. I didn't grow up doing anything like that. I'm not going to qualify for Boston, right? I just show up every day and I run, and I love it. And I want to find people that are the same way. And even more than that, I want to find people that are thinking about running and they're just trying to get that spark to get out the door. And I want to be that spark for them. If it can be just one person that I'm the spark for, that's all I care about. That's what the purpose of this is. That's why I'm on social media. That's why I share my running story, because while it's just a story amongst a huge pile of stories of runners, I feel like we all offer some sort of value to the community. And if the right person sees it, but what I mean by that is the person that wants to hear that kind of thing, that's what I want. That's what I want to be. I want to be that person for you. But like I said earlier, I want you to be that person for me, because I'm always looking for inspiration, and I find inspiration in every story, whether it's someone that is starting out, whether it's somebody that ran their first mile, ran their first 5K, whatever it is. I mean, there is inspiration every single day in this sport, and that's why I love it. All right, I've gone on long enough. Now let me get into real quick about what kind of videos you can expect on this channel before we wind things down here. This is going to be a basic channel. When I started it, I was not going to be on camera. You were not going to see my face or hear me. I was going to do POV videos highlighting my community around me. I live in a smaller area in the rural Midwest here in central Illinois. There are a lot of small towns around here that I was like, I could go run in those towns and do POV videos and show those towns off. I still plan to do that. The problem is I can't go to these towns and run consistently enough to provide those videos to you. They will still be a part of the channel, as I said, but other things that I want to cover on this channel. Obviously, I'm going to be chronicling my story, my thoughts when it comes to running. Previously on TikTok, I would do what I would call run and talks. If you're familiar with Aaron Sorkin, like the West Wing, when he would have the famous walk and talks where the characters would be walking and talking for long stretches of time on that show, it's kind of what I would do with my TikTok. But some of those videos would be 2.5, 3 minutes long. And while I love doing them, they don't really necessarily play well on TikTok where the attention spans are limited. So I do plan to bring some of that here. And what are those type of videos? It's just when I'm out and about running. If I have a thought on running specifically, if I have a thought on life that ties into running, or both of them kind of overlapping, any topic that I find relatable is what I want to talk about and put out here, because I feel like the more open and honest we are as people and as a running community, the better things are, because people are looking to relate to each other and to connect with each other. And that's what I try to do with those run and talks, as I call them. Outside of that, chronicling my story, if I am training for a race, you're going to be right alongside me. In fact, I'm going to be running my second marathon in May, Flying Pig in Cincinnati. So that training is going to start right after the new year in 2025. And I plan on doing a series of videos that will bring you along, give you some videos about why I'm choosing to do certain things, like pick a training plan or my fuel or whatever it may be. It's all to try to be open and just give people my experience and see, what they can glean from that. I also want to give practical advice to beginner runners, and that can be, again, it's not necessarily like you have to do this, you must do this. I just give them options that they can do for themselves and see if they can, again, take what they want from that. Some of it may even just be like, hey, you don't have to buy the new shoes this year. They're cheaper if you buy last year's model. That's a very practical thing that I did not learn for a couple of years as a beginner runner. I'm not going to be someone that's going to review a bunch of gear or shoes. That's not necessarily my plan. If I do, it's only because I believe in a product and I want to share that kind of thing. Another thing I might do are live streams. I've thought about doing some live streams. I've done that on TikTok before. I'm a big sports fan, so while I'm watching sporting events, I may just hop on here and talk about whatever. Running, obviously, but if it segues into sports or life or whatever, I want this community to be a living, breathing thing where we connect and communicate. I am who I am. I just like talking and communicating with people and sharing interests. So maybe do some live streams at some point. That's kind of what I have in mind for now. I'm learning as I go with this stuff. It was the same way with TikTok. I didn't really find my voice on TikTok for quite some time. I have a feeling it's going to take me a little bit to find my voice on here as well. I'm someone that learns by doing, and over time, I hope you, if you do choose to subscribe to this channel, you'll see over time that there will be a natural progression as I learn and pick up on things and do things better down the line. The plan is I want to try to do at least a video a week, maybe more if I'm feeling like I need to talk about things or whatever it may be. But that's all I've got for now. I've been talking for a while here. I appreciate if you jumped on and stayed on this long. I can't thank you enough. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. If you could, please like, subscribe, share. Feel free to leave a comment. I'm going to post all my links down below. I'm on, Twitter, Bluesky, Threads, Instagram, Strava. I've got a Linktree down below, so please see those links if you'd like to follow me here as well as elsewhere. That's all I've got. Thanks for following along.